Yep.
chair meeting, so I can speak by that.
Monday, May 8th, 2017, regular session of the Anamosa City Council at City Hall Council Chambers. 1.0 roll call.
Rich,
Here.
Bill,
Here.
Rob,
Here.
Cody,
Here.
Ed.
Here.
2.0 motion to approve the minutes from the following meeting, April 24th, 2017, regular council meeting.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second.
second by Rich. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. 3.0 public hearing. 3.1 public hearing regarding proposed budget amendments for the city budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017. I'll open the public hearing. Anybody,
Haven't had any comments.
Move to close.
motion by Bill to close the public hearing,
Second.
second by Rod. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? Carried. 4.0 presentations. 4.1 Dusty Embry Grantwood Loop Keep Iowa Beautiful Hometown Pride Initiative.
Hello. So I was going to do a PowerPoint, but also we had a full agenda, so I thought I would just kind of talk through all of this with you. We have a really exciting opportunity to partner with the Grantwood Loop and Keep Iowa Beautiful, and I sent you all an email. I hope you all got it with some links and some things, some information last week. But I want to, I guess, quickly review where we're at with that program and what we've been doing so far. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. Have you seen this? I'll pass these around. You can take one if you'd like. You've definitely seen it probably in the email. I think there was probably a link to it. There's also a link to this in that email. I can pass this around. I don't have enough copies of this for everyone, but you can check this out. So the smaller one is the 2-year plan and the case study. This is a 20-year plan for the region, which includes Dubuque, Jones, and Jackson counties. You can check that out. So for the benefit of the new people here, the Grantwood Loop is a collaboration with Jackson, Jones, and Dubuque counties. And our mission is to enhance, promote, and connect our region's cultural, natural, and park assets. So we've created the master plan, which is that big, thick document, and the link I sent you. And we've got priority projects that, which is one of the Wapsie Trail is one of, that are scheduled to be completed by the end of calendar year 2018, so by the end of next year. There's about $22 million in projects identified in that time span, and then there's, I don't even know how many millions of dollars of projects identified in that 20-year plan, a lot of projects. Currently, we have 36 major projects going on, ranging anywhere from $10,000 to $2.8 million. They're in county parks, state parks, and different cities, Anamosa, Monticello, Oxford Junction, Bellevue, Macokota, Dubuque, St. Donatus, Preston. So all kinds of different places. We're really getting out in the region. When we signed on to do this, we kind of thought, we were worried that some of the bigger counties, Dubuque, might suck up all the money. Turns out, actually, Jones County has got is getting the most of the Parks to People funding. We have the largest percentage of funding coming to projects within Jones County. So that's pretty exciting. And project types, trails, county park development, mountain bike parks, city parks, downtown pocket parks, state park enhancements, lake restoration, water trail development, RV parks. So all different kinds of projects are happening since the inception of this Parks to People that we became a part of that pilot project back in, 2015 now. So through that, we've 78-ish grants have been applied for through the Council of Governments in Dubuque. 28 of those projects, or 28 of those grants have been funded, and over $3 million in grants have been secured for different projects within the region. So it's been a really good partnership for the region to enhance our park assets and other assets. Lots of private dollars, in-kind money, and different matches have been brought to the table. one of the really cool benefits of what we've been doing so far is a new website called the Grantwood Loop, gwloop.com. And I was also going to pull it up, but it's really responsive. So if you have a phone, it's supposed to be, people pull out their phone and open it up. And this was through a partnership with the RPA in Dubuque, RPA 8. Jones County is actually not a member of RPA 8, but because we're tied through this region, we're included in this website. So this is like a, I don't know, $25,000 website. It's a very expensive website. And all of Jones County's activities, events, and amenities are included on this website. So we are continually working to keep it updated and make sure that experiences get posted to that. So this works off of experiences and loops. So we create experiences through the region or loops through the region. So let's say we want to connect all the wineries, and we want to create a wine loop. You can do that, check it off, and create your little loop on here. So if anybody, I'll pass my phone around so you can kind of look
So
at
you
that too.
can actually kind of design your own tour.
You can from your phone, and you can click and connect your own loops, and then there's also suggested loops. So there's some, I think one of the ones that's on the main page there is rock climbing and the different places you can rock climb within the region. And that's something that people are like, rock climbing, and we have it in Jones County, So some different things to educate. And then by marketing as a region, we can get a lot more bang for our buck. So we did get a grant through the Iowa Tourism to promote that. So we've got some money sitting there right now trying to figure out how we're going to promote that website to get more people to know about it. So that's something that's coming. So all of that, how that connects with Keep Iowa Beautiful. So the Keep Iowa Beautiful Hometown Pride, so I'm going to give you a little overview of that. Their goals are it seems to me that they really fit with the goals of what we're doing with the Grantwood Loop. And so when we discovered the program, we had been worrying about sustainability. And so when we discovered this program, it seemed to kind of fit and make sense for the region. So their goals are building stronger communities, focusing on both cultural and economics, leadership. They providing a toolbox of solutions for community development, and they provide a community coach to help push the community's vision forward. So for us, for the Grantwood Loop folks, why we want to partner with them is it creates that 5-year sustainable funding for the coach to help push the mission, projects, goals, and things forward. So 5 years of that. It hopefully will drive more initiatives in our communities through our 20-year plan and things that get added to that 20-year plan. Hopefully gets more citizens engaged and empowered in the projects. So communities that have signed on thus far include Jackson County, Jones County, Dubuque County, and then Monticello, Bellevue, Macokota, Asbury, Cascade, Preston, Dyersville, and Sebula. So a lot of small communities, a lot of in all counties so far. So kind of a good cross section of folks. So what would that look like for us? Well, a coach would be provided for us, and they would help us make certain that community plans and initiatives get developed, funded, implemented, that kind of thing. So they provide a toolkit of resources to connect us to for our projects that we want to have funded. And then they provide oversight and training for grant writing and connect us to the right grants and things. They already been doing that. ECIA has been doing that a lot for us, and so they would continue to do some of that. So they would continue to research and identify grants, funding sources, funding strategies. They'd continue to do the bookkeeping for the region, which is something they've already been doing. And then they would coordinate and oversee the funding payments and the match and all of that. So they would do all the financial stuff for us. And then Jackson County Economic Alliance, who's kind of been being our administrator for the Grantwood Loop, would continue to do that, as well as acting as the head coach for the region. And then they would still do some of that coordination. So basically some of the things that we're getting now that are going to stop, we would continue to get. Our projects aren't done. The region's not done with our, we want to continue our 20-year plan. We want to continue this awesome website and some other things that we've got going on. There's a lot of cool plans. And so we just want to keep up that momentum, because who would have thought that, the 3 counties could work so well and make so many things happen together and get so much kind of statewide press from it. As far as Keep Iowa Beautiful goes, Pocahontas County, I think, is nearing the end of they signed on for Keep Iowa Beautiful in 2012. 9 communities participated. It looks like they had 140 grants totaling over $600,000 for those 9 communities, and they did different things from paintings and murals, new benches, tables, city park and landscaping projects, tree planting, signage, trail plans, shower houses, and those kinds of things. So a lot of similar projects to the Grantwood Loop projects. And then Jasper County just signed on in July of 2015, and they've completed much of the same types of things. And they've had 25 grants so far for a total of $240,000. That was just in their first year. So being associated with this Keep Iowa Beautiful, I think also kind of brings recognition to your projects. They're pretty well known statewide, and their director Jerry, he funded the program completely with private funds. So he knows the right people to talk to get things done. So he's a good person to have in your corner. From our viewpoint, why should Anamosa want to participate? So we would get a coach to keep our vision moving forward. So whether that be, and we could choose what that is. So is that, some of Better Together, which I think is definitely some good things that are happening that we'd like to continue to happen. We have Create Your Anamosa, and there's some visions that were laid out by people in the community there as well. So I think there's a good starting point with some of those committees put together because that's what we would need is that community committee to work with the coach. They would make our projects more attractive for grants on the state level. And then some of the things that we've already received as far as benefits from our collaboration with Grantwood Loop would be the Wapsipinicon Trail has received or will receive up to $170,000 for phase 1. We've received over $400,000 in grants from other sources by participating, because those grants weren't all written by us, they were written by others as well through ECIA. The website that we're included in, and then there's so many fun things that have happened in other parts of Jones County that our citizens will take advantage of as well. The dredging at Central Park, the dam projects, some hunting land acquisitions. So there's been a lot of good things that have happened in our region that'll affect the quality of life here as well. So it's a win-win. In my opinion, it's a win-win, and I hope that we will choose to continue our participation in the region. It would be kind of sad if we couldn't continue our participation just because of all the good things that have been happening. Questions? I can send you more information. I have an article about Jasper County and what they've done and how their project's turning to, and that was in their local Newton newspaper.
Did you say that both Monticello and Cascade got on board?
They're both participating, yep.
The website that you spoke of, where you can set up your own virtual tour,
Right.
is there a tracking system in of how many hits that site hits? And can they pinpoint down to counties or sections of Iowa
I don't know.
or outside of the state?
That's a good question of where those, I would think so. I mean, I know Google Analytics, you can do a lot with it. I know just enough to be dangerous, but that's a question I can ask. I would think that the people that design the website could do a lot. And part of it is too, what can we afford to pay for?
Well, that'd be, the tourism mechanism that it would create. Where are people coming from? What walks of those lives could you begin to pinpoint and press harder or try to get more attractions for that?
So if there's a big group from a certain area, then maybe market more towards that area, try and get more of those folks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can ask that question.
For the public information aspect, would you explain the funding that you're requesting?
Okay, so the funding requested currently is $2,500, and it's a 5-year commitment. So the goal, it's not a commitment. The goal would be that we would continue every year with a $2,500 commitment for 5 years. Obviously, you can't tie anybody's hands in the future. You make a decision every year. We come back to you, we talk to you about things that have happened. you say, oh yeah, we've been getting our money's worth, we think that's a great value, we'll do that again, or, you know, we're not gonna do that anymore. We tried it and it didn't work for us. So, there's a resolution, I don't know if Al ever got that. Did you get that? I have a copy of it. Just kind of states that. There it is, and I can email it to somebody else. You never got it.
Your request is $2,500 for this next year. this
Right,
year.
towards the matching. So basically what it does is the region has to come up with 25,000 for the Keep Iowa Beautiful folks to bring in 75,000. So it's a pretty good match. I mean, it's a pretty, you know, so between Jones, Jackson, and Dubuque counties, the whole region has to come up with 25,000, and then we leverage 75,000 into the region for the coaching services, the administration, and all that stuff.
So you get the 25,000. You're guaranteed the 75,000,
Yes.
Right.
but we're not guaranteed how much of it's going to come back to Anamosa.
Well, basically how it comes back is in the form of coaching. So it comes back in the form of, okay, so we're gonna help your community push those visions forward. And hopefully over the course of that year, you would, you know, maybe not that year, but maybe that 5 years, you know, that commitment over
So
5 years.
that coaching would help the city council fund projects that we designate.
We can determine that. I think that's something that we can determine. You know, we could look at the vision that, you know, one of the requirements or one of the hopes is that the community has a vision. Well, there are kind of several, I would say, that are kind of hanging out there. So I would suggest we would have kind of a meeting to say, okay, let's take these visions and see what are the things we push forward. There's a couple of things that, quite frankly, I'm working on through economic development right now that are not economic development. But I'm doing, and I would love to continue to do, and this project would make some of it happen. The community gardens is one thing that we're trying to work to make sure that continues. It's not an economic development project, it's kind of a pet project, I guess, at this point, to make sure that doesn't go away. And it would be nice to be able to see that continue. Are there other things? I'm sure if there are projects that the city council would like to, yes, we can add those to the, you know, generally the vision that I remember with Create Your Anamosa was a lot of beautification, downtown efforts, and that kind of thing. And we could definitely, you know, pull that back out, and, you know, there are people involved that want to stay involved to make those things happen.
Well, and if you walk downtown in the last 3 months, it's needed more now than ever.
From a dollar and cent standpoint, if that's all you wanted to look at, you know, I'm just, anyone in the public sector, what was the total amount this area, Jones County, this area, had secured in grants due to this, or maybe an extension of this?
Through Grantwood Loop,
100,000 in REAP, 280,000 TAP grant, 170,000 Parks to People.
that's just for the trail. And then
Just for the trail.
there's, I don't know, the dam project's getting 280,000, I believe, and several other grants. The lake dredging is receiving
The lake dredging is,
200,000.
yeah.
So the
add-on.
trail-
Over $400,000 is coming back to the area
Right.
Yes.
for your newly request of $2,500. You could continue that.
We hope. I mean, we hope that kind of thing continues. And you know, as far as the economic development perspective, these quality of life things that we're trying to build, you know, to bring people to live here, workforce. It goes back to workforce again. So there's just these quality of life things, and hopefully we can bring more grants in to help with those things and beautification, and we can mix in some other things. You know, the Grantwood Loop has been primarily about the natural assets around us, but
Parks and Recreation was the hometown pride. If you look at some of the other projects at the counties, Jasper and Pocahontas, that type of thing, it's a wider scope. They're fixing up historic buildings, they're painting, their new playground equipment, you know, just a lot of other things, and that's why this, the hometown pride thing actually widens the scope even more than the Grant Wood Loop. But also it's open a little to more private funding, but Dustin, alluded to that a little bit, that he started with private. He knows a lot more, so we're not just depending on, the state, the federal, grants, that type of thing. There's also other people out there that are interested in this type of thing to beautify Iowa.
The age demographic, I don't remember this, I know I've read it recently, that outdoor activity is one of the top 5 attractions to the age group of 25 to 45 when they're looking to relocate. Have you seen anything like that?
Correct. We research articles all the time of people that, or not people, but towns that invest in trails, outdoor recreation, that type of thing. That's where people want to come and locate. But yeah, many, especially, we get this stuff from Dubuque, Macokota, everybody's just pitching in, and if they see something, they send it to all of us. And so it's been a really, a great thing, to push this stuff forward.
Even, I'm gonna take that one step further, even your older people, your snowbirds that go south, look for areas where there's places to walk and ride their bikes. And it's the reason they leave here in the winter, is to be active year round.
Well, and I read an article the other day that this was interesting about a company that wants to locate in Marion, and they are tying a trail into their scope of wanting TIF. They're saying you have to build us a trail around, I don't know if it's around the commercial park or around the building or whatever, so.
Yeah, I think for that relocation, if you were gonna have a checklist, there's that 25 to 45 year families, that ranks in the top 5 on their checklist for relocating to an area.
Well, they have choices. I mean, we largely are a bedroom community for Cedar Rapids. I mean, a lot of our folks go into Cedar Rapids. What's keeping them here? And it's the education, it's the quality of life, and we want to continue to improve that. So. Other questions, thoughts?
So when does a decision need to be made?
We'd like a decision tonight. I think it's actually on
It's
Tuesday.
a action item
Do
later.
you guys have a deadline?
It's passed.
Okay. So they've
We're
extended
hoping
it for
they
us.
have extended it. We're hopeful that we can get everybody started in July with the 1st of July to get moving with our 5-year.
Thank you.
Thank you. 5.0 proclamations. 5.1, Mayor proclaims May 14th to the 20th, 2017 Food Allergy Awareness Week in the city of Anamosa. And it goes as Proclamation for Food Allergy Awareness Week. Whereas as many as 15 million Americans have food allergies, nearly 6 million are children under the age of 18. Whereas research shows that the prevalence of food allergy is increasing among children. Whereas 8 foods cause the majority of all food allergy reactions in the U.S. Shellfish, fish, milk, eggs, tree nuts, peanuts, soy, and wheat. Symptoms of a food allergic reaction can include hives, vomiting, diarrhea, respiratory distress, and swelling of the throat, whereas food allergy results in more than 200,000 emergency department visits each year. Reactions typically occur when an individual unknowingly eats a food containing an ingredient to which they are allergic. Whereas there is no cure for food allergy, and scientists do not understand why strict avoidance of the offending food is the only way to prevent an allergic reaction. Whereas anaphylaxis is a serious allergic reaction that is rapid in onset and may cause death. Therefore, I, Dale Barnes, Mayor of the City of Anamosa, do hereby proclaim May 14th to the 20th, 2017 Food Allergy Awareness Week in the City of Anamosa, and encourage the residents of Anamosa to increase their understanding and awareness of food allergies and anaphylaxis by visiting. .2, Mayor proclaims now through November 11th, 2025 as the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. The United States commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. As we observe the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, reflect with solemn reverence upon the valor of a generation that served with honor. We pay tribute to the more than 3 million servicemen and women who left their families to serve bravely a world away from everything they knew and everyone they loved. Though many, they're more than a decade of combat over air, land, and sea, these proud Americans upheld the highest tradition of our armed forces. As a grateful nation, we honor more than 58,000 patriots who sacrificed all they had and all they would ever know. We draw inspiration from the heroes who suffered unspeakably as prisoners of war, yet who returned home with their heads held high. We pledge to keep faith with those who were wounded and still carry the scars of war, seen and unseen. In recognition of a chapter in our nation's history that must never be forgotten, let us renew our sacred commitment to those who answered our country's call in Vietnam and those who awaited their safe return. The federal government is partnering with local governments, private organizations, and communities across America to honor and give thanks to a generation of proud Americans who saw our country through one of the most challenging missions we have ever faced. While no word will ever be fully worthy of their service, now our honor truly befitting their sacrifice, let us remember that it is never too late to pay tribute to the men and women who answered the call of duty with courage and valor. Let us renew our commitment to the fullest possible, accounting for those who have not returned. Throughout their commemoration, let us strive to live up to their example by showing our Vietnam veterans, their families, and all those who have served the fullest respect. Now, therefore, I, Dale Barnes, Mayor of Anamosa, Iowa, do, by virtue of the authority vested in me, hereby proclaim now through November 11th, 2025 as the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War in Anamosa. Yep.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Community action items, 6.0, community betterment. 6.1, discussion and possible action on a request regarding Grant Wood Loop Keep Iowa Beautiful Hometown Pride Initiative.
This would be a year-by-year funding, as Dusty alluded to, and I had a real good conversation with Dave Heyer on the phone this afternoon. He called me. Dave's kind of the director of this initiative for our region. As many of you know, Dave's his first career was as a city manager, and his career now is in economic development. And he apologized that this didn't come to us sooner, especially before we settled on the budget. So therefore, this first installment, if you choose to grant the initiative for next year, we would have to amend the budget, but next year's budget, not this budget. And just so everybody understands that, and take it from there.
So this would come out of next year's budget, this
Correct.
$2,500?
Yes.
Okay.
So, if everybody doesn't commit to this, and you don't get your 25,000,
We will get our 25,000. We're not worried about that. It's just kind of, I wanted everybody to have the opportunity to participate.
So out of the 25,000, how much do you have right now committed?
Oh, I don't have that number for you.
so when we commit to this 25,000, at what point does this,
2,500.
or 2,500, what point do we sit down with you as a council and decide what projects we're gonna work on?
Yes, we'll do that sometime in July. Probably me as well as Dave Hyde.
Will they be projects in the city limits or outside the city limits?
Yes, we'll continue with the priority projects for the region, so the Walks Trail and some other things are still, obviously gonna be on there, but all of the other projects would definitely be within the city limits of Anamosa. It's your.
So are you planning on funding all the outside projects that you've already had started first?
So, it's not one or the other. It'll be Wapsie Trail continues on the momentum they're on, benches or whatever. They're not the same funding stream, so like if
Okay.
we'll still be let's say you need benches, we'll look for, benches, grants for benches or, work for benches.
Just
So
so we don't get off track, this $100,000 is primarily to help us identify ways to get
Right,
those
this is
goals
coaching
met. This
services.
is, yes, this
Yeah.
isn't about raising money to do things, this is about raising money to help us accomplish our goals.
Push your vision.
Administrative.
Yes.
Right, yep, it's administrative.
Yes.
So none of the 100,000 gets put towards
It's not cash.
any projects?
No. We all know that it takes money to get things done. Unfortunately, people.
We'll make a motion that Anamosa participates in $2,500 in our first installment in fiscal year 17-18.
First by Bill,
I'll second that.
second by Rich. You want any further discussion, or you want to vote on it?
It comes down to, do you think Anamosa should be a player in this game?
It's a resolution form, so we'll have to have a
Roll vote.
roll vote. It's a simple resolution. It's not our resolution, so.
So you wanted a roll vote?
Where's that resolution at? No, I would say it doesn't have to be a roll vote then.
Okay.
Just that the council's approving this as a simple resolution.
So we're not gonna put it in our book as a resolution? That's my question, because I'll need to do a roll vote if we do.
Okay, then do the roll vote, because we want to record it.
So it will be a roll vote.
Rod,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
7.0 Public Safety. 7.1 Motion to approve a renewal of beer and liquor license none. 7.2 Discussion and possible action on street closure request on North Huber Street from Main Street to Cedar Street on June 4th, 2017, from 12 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. as submitted by St. Paul Lutheran Church.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second.
second by Betty. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? Carried. 8.0 Public Works. 8.1 Discussion possible action on engineering service agreement amending number 1 for Second Street Lift Station and Sewer Improvement Project with Snyder and Associates.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second.
second by Ron. Any further discussion?
This should take care of all of the extra stuff. I mean, the staking and the observation, and we shouldn't be seeing any more contracts for expenses except for change orders.
Well, this gives an amount to
Right.
accommodate those
No, I'm just saying, this is the last of those.
for their observations,
contract.
unless something gets added or what that we would need their services
Okay,
in more depth.
okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. 8.2 Discussion possible action on resolution accepting the plans and specifications, accepting bid and awarding contract to Horsefield Construction Incorporated for the 2017 STP project.
This project, as you know, was let in Ames by the DOT on April 18th, and they have sent the contracts on to us after they reviewed and approved them on their end. And the amounts that were received, Horsfield Construction Incorporated, $699,282.41. Reckless Excavating Limited, $727,746.80, and Chick-fry Excavating Company in the amount of $890,308.06. And therefore, Horsfield, being the lowest responsible bidder, it is recommended that council accept and award contract to Horsfield Construction.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second.
second by Betty.
This is slightly over 25,000. Is that what I heard, Al, from lowest bid to second lowest?
Right at a little over 27,000
27,000.
between the lowest and the next one up. All three bids were below the engineer's estimate. People are
Once again, why
Wanting
the
to work.
estimate shouldn't be there.
Ready to vote? This is a roll vote.
Cody,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
9.0 Finance. 9.1 Discussion and possible action on resolution amending the current budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second.
second by Rod. Any discussion? This is a roll vote.
Betty,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Cody.
Yes.
9.2, discussion and possible action on resolution approving the hiring and setting salaries of seasonal part-time employees for the Anamosa Aqua Court and the Parks Maintenance Department for the upcoming season.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second?
second by Rod. Any discussion? And it too is a roll vote.
Rich,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Betty.
Yes.
9.3, discussion and possible action on resolution approving the hiring and setting salary of part-time employees for the Lawrence Community Center for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017.
Move to approve.
First by Bill,
Second?
second by Rod. And it too is a roll vote.
Bill,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
9.4, discussion and possible action on resolution hiring and setting the salary for a part-time police officer for the Anamosa Police Department and setting salary for fiscal year 2016-17.
Bob, am I reading this correctly is you currently only have one part-time officer and you're looking to get to two?
No, well, we have Mark, we have Derek, and this is the third one. He works full-time for Cascade. We're just looking for an added one so that it's a little